Hello and welcome to a brand new episode to assist you on your soulful journey. When you rise with love, you'll tap into some of your hidden gifts and abilities that are part of your divine purpose this lifetime. Somehow, all of those pieces start to be put together and you have the absolute clarity of what it is you are here to bring to the world. That, my loves, just gets me so excited for you. And of course, I am also really excited to introduce you to my special guest today, Nicole DiCristofaro from Divine Flow Energy Healing. Her mission is to help women who are spiritually curious to tap into their spiritual superpowers using energy medicine and Western shamanic techniques so that they feel more confident, connected, and centered every day. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys can probably tell why I cannot wait to dive into this conversation. This kind of stuff just fascinates me so much. So let's give Nicole a huge welcome.
Aloha. Hello. So excited to be here. Thank you, Melissa. And I'm just love what you're up to and doing in the world. So it's such an honor. I just want to say that to be here.
Oh my gosh, you already are like fueling my being with just this incredible. I feel like this conversation is going to be full of ascension and transformations and for myself and for the listeners. And I'm just like, I don't really know how I feel. You guys can kind of see my energy's like, rah, let's do it. I feel like there's just so much power in you as just holding space for people. So oh my goodness. You're so gorgeous and you're just a divine. Oh, I'm so excited. So Nicole, before I keep crushing on you, right, let's get into it. I feel like I'm fangirling a little bit. So like many people, you spent the first part of your adult life kind of like trying to fit in and trying to find your place in the world. And I know many people feel that way. They're just kind of like searching. And then an incident happened in your life that brought you to your divine purpose. Now, we don't necessarily need to go into what that was. What I really want to know is, can you talk us through the experience of finally understanding what your mission is this lifetime?
Oh, most definitely. I love sharing this. And I feel like, why did it take me so long? But we're all different, right? We all walk a different journey and it happens when it happens. So I was that person that was just, I didn't know who I was. I was constantly looking at other people, trying to think, am I like them? Maybe I'll hang out with these people, like in school, like maybe I'm like them. I was constantly searching for where I fit in and belonged. And, it definitely had me always feeling second guessing myself and didn't really, even though I presented maybe a confident persona internally, I was not feeling that way. And through a series of events, I was in a marriage where I was like, wow, did I really end up here? Like, is this is this my life? Like, it was one of those moments. Great guy, nice life, like really, like it would have been a perfect life. However, there was something missing, and I was struggling trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not happy in this arrangement? And that led me on this spiritual journey. And I started just like absorbing books and people like Wayne Dyer and Marianne Williamson and Ilana Van Zandt. See, I butchered a name right there.
That's all right.
All these people became like my spiritual teachers. And then I had this like kind of my first spiritual advisor or mentor in my life that showed up for me. And it was literally, Melissa, I was like driving down the street going, I need guidance. Like, I want, like, it was before I started really like doing all this work that I just wanted someone to kind of like help me and, hold my hand. And I was driving down Pacific Coast Highway in California. For those people that know where that is, it's like the main highway along the coast. And I was at a stoplight and I look over and it said spiritual advisor.
Oh my gosh.
on the door, on the front. And she was like one of these like psychic spiritual advisor ladies. And, but she was like my gateway into this world of really rediscovering who I was and reconnecting to myself. And, you know, she had me journal and meditate, and I was like, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. Like, you know, all the things as a newbie. And that was, you know, my entry into this world. So, and that was ago.
And you know what? It sounds familiar. It does, you know, we all kind of have that same, this is kind of how it happened and went on this journey, and then the rest is history, right? And I love that you was so adamant with, I need the help, and then it just shows the power of manifesting, right? And it's just there for you. Oh my gosh. I am a little bit curious to ask, because I haven't really necessarily dived into shamanism myself. I'm not sure how to quite say that. So can you explain to us, what is shamanic healing?
Yes.
I'm kind of like, I need to know.
Yes. So the methodology that I incorporate and learn comes from my teaching and learning through the Academy of Intuition Medicine. They're in Sausalito, California. And, you know, a lot of the indigenous shamanic healers and teachers, they have their practice and traditions that's been through, you know, generations and generations. And a lot of it can involve plant medicine, you know, people doing ayahuasca and different things, right? To induce this type of connection to higher wisdom, to guides, you know, to that source that we can access that's kind of outside, you know, in their vision or teachings. It's kind of like we have to go there or access it. And what I've learned is a Western shamanic approach, which you don't need plant medicine, you don't need to ingest anything, because, you know, some of those things can be kind of intense for people. And
is that kind of like a little bit hallucinogenic kind of stuff? Yeah, sounds like rituals.
And there's some precautions, because like when you open yourself up in that way and you're maybe not taught how to protect yourself and like keep yourself not this like wide open channel, then, you know, there's other entities, and not all entities are benevolent. Some are malevolent, you know, not good, not in support of your highest good. So there's like that concern of, well, if I'm going to take something and open myself up, like what's going to happen? So the practice that I've learned and teach is you have a guided imagery, you do a visualization to take a journey, but you're not leaving your body to take the journey. You're staying grounded and protected in your human home, and you're connecting energetically to the frequency and the vibration of higher wisdom. So you can source higher wisdom, stay protected, stay home and safe in your body. So then whatever comes through, you have that capacity then to take action on those things. Because if you're kind of out of your body and disconnected, a lot of it's like up there and not really grounded in the present. So I love teaching people how to be grounded in the present, because this is where it's happening. This is where you can create and take action and bring that spirituality, creativity, and human experience into creating the life you want.
Wow. Can I, just to kind of like understand it a little bit more, is Western shamanic healing, is that kind of like quantum healing? Because it sounds very similar.
It has a lot of definite similarities. Yeah, energy medicine can be called and categorized as quantum. It's a type of form of vibrational healing. So you are accessing a frequency, a code, a vibration through either colors or symbols. So when I teach people how to really expand their wisdom and their accessibility to source and other forms of higher wisdom, I'm teaching them to do it through an energetic frequency. Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I very much understand everything is
Yeah.
vibrational and energy, right? And it's so interesting because I've been feeling for quite some time that the way we facilitate healing is changing. And so to have people like you who not only are already practitioners, but also educators just really excites me because I feel human beings, we've kind of forgotten how amazing we are at being able to heal ourselves.
Exactly. We are all our own inner healers, you know, and whether you choose to just work on yourself or with others, it's entirely up to you, but you can awaken that gift because a lot of times, one of my mentors, says we have to like re-remember everything that we've learned before and all our incarnations and where we've come from, and our source, our soul has learned along the way. So we're constantly re-remembering all of these things. And one thing that I just wanted to say about the quantum, just to answer or conclude that, is that there is no past, present, future, because it's all linear. So yes, the work that I do is based on like it's all happening now, and it's a non-linear type of healing and experience.
Oh, I love that so much. One of the things that I'm kind of like loving about you is that you talk about how everyone has a spiritual superpower, which, I'm all about. So, can you give us some examples as to what these superpowers might be?
Yes. So we all may be aware of certain intuitive abilities that we have, right? We've heard of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and so many of the people that seem to be drawn into my world are highly sensitive people or empaths, and that means that they're highly clairsentient. So they feel things. They feel it in their body. They feel the vibration around them. They feel the energy. They're like, oh, that person has good energy or not so good energy. So one of your superpowers then is your clairsentient, your ability to feel. And a lot of sensitive or empaths have thought it's a curse, and it's not. It actually can really give you a lot of information if you just learn how to use it effectively. And most of us don't. They don't teach this in schools, although I wish they did. So your superpowers are actually your natural intuitive abilities, which I usually give people a quiz or an assessment to see where they score the highest. And that's really surprising for people because they're not aware of all these abilities that they may have already. They may know that they feel things, but they may not realize they're also highly clairvoyant or clairaudient, or their psychometry is really strong. So that in itself gives people like more confidence, knowing like, oh my God, I have some superpowers. I just need to know how to use them.
Oh, I love that. And it's so true. I always say, your body is such an incredible tool for understanding energy and interpreting, what is from the beyond and all of that kind of stuff. So when we use, I call them the clear sensors. So when we use the clear sensors, we really can start to deepen even our connection to our lives because we're like, hey, I actually have something that I can tap into to help me work through this challenge or this healing or, this incredible manifestation that's happening. So I love that. The quiz sounds interesting. I wonder, I'm predominantly clairaudient, so I wonder if that's how I would come across on the quiz. But I love that you help people to uncover, because a lot of the time people mainly hear of clairvoyant. They're like a clairvoyant. I'm like, you know what? That is such a misinterpretation of the word, right? It is a particular sense of which is seeing, and there's so many other senses. I work as a medium, so we also work with clairsent and clairgustience as well. And people sometimes don't even realize, oh, I smelt jasmine and that was my grandma's favorite thing, and they don't think that's their loved one there. And it's like, wow, you have these incredible energy ability to pick up. So I love that you help people with this. It is such important work, and I just salute you in really tapping into something that in some ways is so natural, right? So natural to us.
we just haven't used it. It's a muscle that we just don't use. And especially if we're brought up not to use like our creativity and our imagination, you know, like when we're in school, right? When they've taught like, stop daydreaming, get to work. Like that is shutting down your intuition right there, because imagination is that bridge from intuition into what we're creating and manifesting.
Exactly.
So important. And when you mentioned clairvoyance, by the way, so I used to think I had like no clairvoyance because I had trouble visualizing things. And that when I started meditating, I was like, I can't see this. Like I was getting so upset and forcing and like I wanted to give up. And, you know, as I developed my own spiritual superpowers, my clairvoyance then got stronger. So you can actually strengthen all of your intuitive abilities, even the ones you think you don't have or aren't working, right? And one of the ways I have developed my clairvoyance ability is by using my psychometry all the time in my healing practice, because this is the hand chakras are connected to the pineal gland, which is you know, activates our third eye chakra. So by using my hands so much, I've gotten this really amazing strength in my clairvoyant abilities. So I see things, I get symbols, images, words that like I can see. So it's been really cool for myself going through this whole journey as well, knowing like, oh, it's possible for me, so it's possible for other people.
Oh, that's so amazing. And you're right, you know, as we really dive into this, our clear senses will become more prominent. We might have, you know, for me, it's always been clear audience. And then I find sometimes my clear sentience is what's stronger. And, you know, it will change as you kind of work with different modalities as well. So that's super exciting with your clairvoyance. I love just seeing how you explain that there is this journey with it all, and it's such a beautiful thing to discover. And I think, you know, that's the way to really live life, is to fall in love with the unknown as well in some ways. So which kind of leads me to my next question I want to ask you, because a lot of people are struggling with this whole notion of having a purpose, right? They believe that having a purpose is only if you're here to like do some global domination of some sort, and it's only for the selected few, you know. But what does it actually mean, you know, to have a purpose? Talk us through this.
Oh my God, do you have 2 hours? We could.
Yeah, I know.
Here's some thoughts I have on purpose, because I too was searching, and I had a business. I used to design yoga clothing and activewear and really cool stuff that I go to Bali, and I was like, oh my God, this is my purpose. This is what I meant to do. And like 10 years in, I'm like, I don't think this is my purpose. I think there's something more. So here's the thing. I think that we have a road to travel on, and there may be things that we do on that road that brings us closer to the next spot we're meant to be. It's like it's a journey, and I know we all say it's a journey, and it seems so like lofty, but you know, do I know that for a fact that my purpose is to be an energy medicine practitioner or spiritual counselor? Well, it feels that way for me right now because it feels so aligned and I'm super excited about it. But what if I travel along and get to some other spot and something else feels right for me? So I think that we get too locked in that, you know, in this muggle world we live in, right? We get too locked into it has to like look a certain way, fit in a box, and then there's like a certainty about things, where I think that there's more fluidity. And if your purpose is something and just like getting to know yourself and heal yourself, and that's what you're meant to do in this lifetime, then congratulations. You know, if that feels right for you, your purpose could be healing ancestral trauma, you know, and you have to start doing it with yourself in order to create that experience for the generations before you and future. So it doesn't have to be like saving the world or any of those things. It just has to be like something that feels really aligned with what you most need now for yourself, because then guess what? If you do it for yourself, that could open doors to creating an offering or service to others as well. And then that feels like, oh my God, I'm living my purpose, right? So that's some of my thoughts in a nutshell.
I fully agree. I love the fact that you talk about it being fluid and for what is, current for you in this moment, because it will change. I remember I was Melissa Mills, a psychic medium, and now I'm, Melissa Mills, medium and soulful alignment mentor. Like I've been all sorts of things in between as well. And that will most likely change and evolve at some point as we go on the journey. And that's what it is. I love that you're like, we overuse it, but the whole point of it is that we are on this journey, and the journey is us. We are the journey, and there is no destination really to get to. It's just whatever happens along the way. And I love that you bring us back to, it's okay if our purpose is us, that we are the purpose.
We are like it, I think, if I may be so bold, I think our only purpose, really, our true purpose, is to get to know who we are as a spirit in this lifetime and really connect to our soul, our spirit. I use the same word synonymously, but that's what I think our real purpose is. And then everything else is just bonus.
Yeah, I always say that too. I'm like, everything else is then a bonus, right? And you just kind of have to bring it back. We kind of always make it about everybody else and the outer and all of this and that, and we kind of forget the whole point is that we are unique individuals. And I always say, no one, there will never be another you as there is right now in all of Earth's existence ever again. And so you have something incredible to discover in this physical 3D reality in which we're in. So I love that. Oh, Nicole, I just love you. Now,
you too value being in the present moment, because this is like also the challenge for a lot of people, is to stay present, stay grounded, and be here.
Which is my next question, because there is such a, we are in interesting times of humanity, one which I'm super excited. I feel we've been wanting this for a very long time. And yes, there's lots of stuff happening before we fully are all integrated to this new energy. But because there is so much transformation and ascension going on right now, how can we stay grounded and present? Do you have some tools or some little tips for us to ensure we don't get caught into the energy that we might not want to be caught in?
Yes, and I feel like grounding is the only tool. If you're gonna do anything in your life that is gonna have the biggest impact, grounding and being in the present now is the best medicine, the best tool that you'll have. So my grounding practice is based on what I've learned through my journey, but you really are connecting to Gaia, to that earth energy, which is super healing and almost like has a sedative type of effect, keeps you very calm and peaceful, and allows you to be present and centered and connected. So I do that through visualization, sensing, feeling, all of them. No one thing is out of the practice. But I imagine I use a root chakra grounding, and I imagine this connection from my root chakra into the earth, into the center. And in that location in the center of the earth, I imagine my little grounding sanctuary that's very safe and supportive for me there. And I write my name there and really like claim in present time, I am here, Nicole DiCristofaro, grounded in this space. And I occasionally have to update my grounding throughout the day because, right, things can knock us over and out of the present. And then using my feet chakras, I kind of imagine my feet are planting into the earth as well, and open up my feet chakras and just allow that natural elixir of earth energy in through my body. And it helps to clear out any energy that is not in present time, not my own energy. It's OPE, other people's energy. And it creates that container for my spirit to fully be integrated and home in her body. And a lot of us spend, unfortunately, if we've had trauma or things happen in our lives, our spiritual self, our energy can pop out of our crown chakra and just float, be disconnected, or halfway in, halfway out. I see it all in clients. And we have to learn how to bring our spirit back, fully integrate that energy into our body, into like that cellular experience, in order to really like wake up, see clearly, feel that connection, feel drawn or guided on our path. And that doesn't happen when we're not really incorporating all of our spiritual energy in our physical bodies. So that's like a kind of a nutshell of like how I create it and visualize it and see myself just fully integrating in and grounding my aura into the earth as well. So everything gets grounded. I have like many grounding spots that I use within my body. It can take 10 minutes though, once you learn it. It's not that difficult. But my job is to be here in the now. That's my job in this lifetime, and that I constantly practice and work on. And whether you can do this through breath work, or going outside and just walking in nature, or putting your feet in the dirt or the sand or wherever you are, you just really connecting into this moment now and connecting to that pulse and that frequency of the earth, which is a very slow pulse. That's why it feels so soothing and calming. It's 7.58 hertz. And it's almost like you're tuning and synchronizing your body to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And it's such a beautiful thing.
Oh, I love that. No, I've never heard anyone call it the heartbeat of Mother Earth before. And I actually just want to explain that I have had this happen where my soul was so disconnected to my body, and I had a lot of energy work. I'm not even sure what it all was, but I worked with a few practitioners because it literally just felt like I was detached, and I was like, what is going on? There's like the soulful part of me, the human part of me, and I'm in this massive tug of war, and I was really not in a good place at that point. And it just goes to show how, we are quite sensitive beings, and there's so many different things that can kind of knock us off our equilibrium. And if we're not doing those basic things, and I agree with you, this should be taught in schools. I originally actually was a primary school teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I started before. I call it my former life, before I was gone into all of this. But I got to the point where I was teaching meditation to my students, and I was like, I don't even care what anyone says, this is really important. And if we could be taught these practices of anchoring into the earth, to the beat, the heartbeat, I love it so much. And also just allowing ourselves to be healed, to be cleansed, to be connected. I remember a friend once telling me that wherever she travels to, when she gets off the plane, she just takes a moment to anchor into the energy of where she is. And I'm like, that's so powerful, because different places around the world, of course, have a different vibration and things like that. So I love your visualization so much. And I hope that I always say, do the roots going into the ground. If you're going to do at least, just do something where you can really bring that connectedness. And I love that you say that it's all about being in the now. And I think so many people don't know how to do that. It's like we have to justify that we're doing something.
Oh, it is. It's really a bad habit that we humans have, of not being in the now, and not telling our in the world or whatever, telling us it's not okay to be imagining things and take that self-care time, and really honor our spiritual and human body as happening right now. Not like, well, when is it going to happen if we don't do it right now, right? If we don't take time every day, there's a saying, when someday comes, you're going to be really busy.
Yeah, right. I think, we've moved from, working on the land and all that kind of stuff to now, deadlines and so much, everything is just so fast, right? And we kind of, I don't know how it is, in beautiful Hawaii, but I know that, for example, I question myself if I just take a minute and I just read my book or just be, or I might get asked, what have you done all day? I'm like, I've just been, like, let me just be, why is the dishes not done? Or I'm like, I've just been being, my soul did not feel like doing dishes today. My soul does not feel like doing dishes any day, by the way.
Can't be bothered with that mundane stuff. I totally agree though. Like there's a lot always that I have planned for my day, and when I don't do it, and then if I take a little time, but I've gotten to the point where like I block off my self-care time. Like there's me time, and I'm no longer feeling bad or guilty about it. Like I'm finally there. It took me a while though, because I'm a go woman, and actually moving here, some of the tutors and mentors that I work with, they have said, you need to adjust your timing clock now. You're in Hawaii and it's a little different there. And I said, I feel it's different here. And I am like, I've only been here a couple weeks and I'm adjusting. And so like I'm taking time out in the middle of the day or, later in the day and just going to the beach and being connected to the earth and the water and just really honoring what I need and what my body and spirit says, she needs. And it can be a little bit of a challenge for some people to do that. And I'm not a parent, so I don't have that extra responsibility. And I know that sometimes that is hard for parents to take time, a little sliver of time for themselves, right? So yeah. It is.
I have 3. Would you like one of mine?
No, thank you. I'm sure they're adorable and lovely, But when you can at least take 5 to 10 minutes, it can make a world of difference. So even that is something. And I'd rather somebody take 5 to 10 minutes than nothing,
And I love that you talk about the scheduling it, right? Because we're so used to a schedule. So if you've scheduled in me time, don't then go, oh, but I've got this and this and this to do. What you will find is that you will manifest from a much better place, that place of abundance and love, rather than scarcity and lack and obligation and all of that kind of stuff, when we give ourselves the time. So I feel like we could, set a little challenge that everyone schedules in once a week to have some me time, at least an hour, go and do something, and then progress it to every day you're scheduling in at least 5 minutes of me time. Then it might be 10 minutes. And that me time does not include like doing a meditation. We're talking like fully doing something for you, right? Even though meditating is totally that. I'm going to set, like, it has to be something fully for you, with no other purpose other than fulfilling your own desire. How does that sound, Nicole?
I love that. Just like labeled as like, I have to connect to me time, right? Don't we make time to connect with our family, our friends, right? Do you spend time connecting to yourself? And when is that? Like, just be with yourself for a few minutes.
Yeah, but that sounds like such a foreign concept for people sometimes. It's like, what? You want me to do what?
Yeah. And also, I think that people, like, I used to struggle being with myself. Like, because that's where then I started to think about all the things that I didn't like about myself or whatever. So it can be hard for people to just be with themselves, because a lot of then the voice comes up, and it may not be that supportive voice. It's not, saying good things to you, but you can learn how to be with that voice and just go, I hear you, but this is not where I choose to, spend my time today. Today, I'm going to listen to my intuitive voice.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, you're so right. I always used to say, I need to keep busy because I don't want to be left alone in my own head.
Dangerous place to be sometimes.
Yeah. And the thing is, we'll never kind of get a hold of it if we keep avoiding it. And I always say, ask yourself, is this my reality? Is this the reality that I choose for myself? And our mind is constantly trying to please us or keep us alive. So it's either in that, survival mode or let me please you mode. And so, there's nothing wrong with actually having those voices sometimes saying, hey, you suck, but you can kind of go, you know what? Thank you for saying that. But today I'm going to choose that I am awesome because this is me time. And in me time, I am amazing. So I want to ask you something a little bit different, nothing to necessarily do with your work, or maybe it could be, but if you could have a conversation with anyone that has walked the planet, whether fictional or not, who would that be? And what is something that you would ask them?
That's such a great question, because I've thought about that so many times in my lifetime, and I've always had different answers. And today I just said, I'm going to go with my intuition. And the first name that came up with was Jesus.
Oh, I love this. Go for it.
And I'm like, ooh, and like I had a moment where I'm like, ooh, Jesus. I never thought to have a conversation with Jesus. However, and I'm, I was raised in a Catholic upbringing, but I was never like super religious. I've gone to church and done things and all of that. But I would love to, because Jesus feels like such a fictional character to me. And I would love to talk with him and really understand the true teachings and who he was and what his mission was on this earth. Like I'd like to hear it from the source instead of all the interpretations we have.
Oh, I love that so much. And especially with the kind of work that you do being quite similar, right? It's kind of like, was Jesus a what do you call it? Did he do psychic surgery, or was he a quantum healer? Was he, what the heck was he? Was he doing something that we don't even know how to do yet and have forgotten? Like, I love that you're like, I want to go straight to the source and ask him, what was the magic? How did you do it? And how can we, I don't know, and how can we bring it back?
Yeah, and his, like your podcast and what you're all about, it's all about rising with love. And I feel that he's like the, from what I've learned, and I don't know because I haven't talked to Jesus, but.
Well, I'm sure you already have. You just, it's somewhere in your energetic field.
He's probably part of that collective wisdom, that universal intelligence. I'm sure his energy is part of that. However, I would like, because I feel like so much of it is so simple. It's like, it's all about love. It's all about tuning into that vibration of love, being love, embodying love. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that Jesus was here to teach us all. And it somehow got muddled along the way and turned into a bunch of other things. But that's like what I want to understand the most, is like, how could he have been such an embodiment of love in a human form? Like, that is our biggest, I think, challenge in learning in this life.
I've got goosebumps thinking about that. Oh my goodness. Now, Nicole, you have such a big heart, and I can tell that you really want to see humanity succeeding in whatever our current mission might be. So what is your hope for humanity moving forward?
Well, I do trust in the perfection of the universe, so I don't want to put anything on it. So I would say that I hold space for humanity and our planet, that we find that the collective finds that source, like where we've come from, like remembers where we've come from, and works to, or embodies that, whatever that source message and energy is, like to bring more of that out into the world and let go of all the like humanity stuff. Like, really, like, is it about unity? Is it about love? Is it about making this world a better place? Like, I don't know what it is, but I know that I hold space that we all collectively realize what it is we were brought here on this realm to do and to create.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, whatever that may be, right? Let's let it unfold. Oh my goodness. I have just had the most incredible time chatting with you. I feel like there are so many people who are going to want to follow the work that you do, even book in with you, all that kind of stuff. So even though I'm going to link it in, tell us where you are. Like, where do you hang out on social media if you hang out, and all those kinds of things?
Sure, thank you. So I'm primarily on Facebook and Instagram. Those are my two jams right now. So it's Divine Flow Healing on Instagram, and it's just a lot of inspirational things right now that I'm just posting there. But on Facebook, I do videos, I put content out there. So it's Divine Flow Energy Healing is my Facebook page. And I always have a lot of offerings and things that I'm sharing in the world, and I'd be happy to gift your audience a meditation. It is a magical waterfall meditation, and it's a very nice healing energy, color. It's really beautiful, and it's like perfect for those moments when you just need to like have a spa infusion, but you can't go to the spa.
Oh, that sounds so good. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to have my hands on it myself and give that a go and just hear your beautiful voice and energy. I love I just love your where you're vibrating at, and I know you kind of understand my language here, but you just have such a delicious
Mm.
part of you that's just so like Moorish, and I could honestly just have soulful conversations with you every day. You are just so inspiring, and I'm a huge fan of the work that you do. So any kind of last message that you want to share with the Rise with Love audience?
Yes. So, one thing I'd like to say, and this goes back to this grounding, the key, the foundation is like, just remember, you being here in your body was your mission when you signed up for Earth School. So just remember to just cultivate awareness of where you are in the moment. Are you really here and present? Are you in the future? Are you in the past? Like, bring yourself back to being here in this moment, because this is where it's happening. This is where the magic happens, okay? And when you do that, you'll start to, like, it's like your receivers, your channels, that radio antenna get stronger because you're able to like actually be here when the phone's ringing with those little intuitive messages. You're home to answer your phone. So think of it that way. That's my little gift message share for you all today. Thank you.
Oh, you are so like, oh, I just love you so much. Thank you, Nicole, for just sharing from your heart and wisdom that is just for us to think about, but also really practical. And I love that you hold space for humanity. That to me is the embodiment of what it is to rise with love. So thank you so much for being a strong advocate of what it means to really see the collective rise into this energy. So everyone, I hope that you have enjoyed this time with Nicole and myself. And remember, we encourage you to be grounded in this moment. This is the most precious moment you will ever experience. And so let it be what needs to be in this moment, right? In every moment, you have the opportunity to experience joy and bliss and abundance and love and this absolute incredible creation. So remember to schedule in that me time, right? That we have talked about. Nicole has inspired us. So everyone, if you have loved this episode, remember to leave a review and share it with everyone who you feel would also benefit this message. And until next time, everybody, peace, love, and blessings. Melissa. Mwah.
Love and light.
Oh, love and light to you too, beautiful.